Russia barely swept away from Switzerland at the Olympics. Everything was decided by own goal and wild luck. Anton Slepyshev almost turned from a hero into an anti-hero. However, everything worked out. His goal brought Russia the first victory in Beijing. The Russian men's ice hockey team has officially begun the campaign for Olympic gold. The team, led by Alexei Zhamnov, after arriving in Beijing, was able to comply with all the necessary measures to approach the opening match in the optimal composition. Almost. This very composition has undergone minor changes compared to the fact that yesterday they were preparing for a meeting with the Crusaders. They only touched on defense. The place of Artyom Manulin paired with Yegor Yakovlev was taken by Alexander Yelesin, and Vyacheslav Voynov replaced the locomotive defender in conjunction with Sergei Telegin. As for the attack, everything remained the same here. And the already mentioned Manulin, as well as goalkeeper Timur Bilyalov and forward Sergei Plotnikov, were out of the application. The beginning of the meeting turned out to be very chaotic. In the first minutes the game often bogged down at the boards, and the teams actively pressed each other and competed more in the use of force. In this style, the match took place almost the entire first period, with the exception of rare moments. One of the few positional attacks of our team almost ended in a goal. But Mikhail Grigorenko lacked a bit of skill to outplay Swiss goalkeeper Reto Berra, who skillfully played with a stick. He also stopped Anton Slepyshev a few minutes later in a similar style. The Crusaders were looking for their opportunities in quick counterattacks and pressed the Russians to their gates. Fedotov did not remain without work. In the first period, the Swiss made one shot more than the Russians. At the end of the 20-minute period, when everyone was already preparing to leave for a break, an unexpected goal came. Slepyshev broke through on the left flank, outplayed Semenov, swept behind the gate and shot with an uncomfortable hand from a negative angle to the patch. The puck did not reach our hockey players. But this was not required. The projectile hit the leg of Enzo Corvi and bounced straight into the goal of Berra. But before the siren was only 2.7 seconds. After leaving the locker rooms, the Russians briefly seized the initiative, having carried out several positional attacks. But then the Swiss noticeably improved. They began to play much more actively, forced Stanislav Galiev to earn a removal and almost equalized the score. The goal was very close. At first Fedotov and the entire Russian team were rescued by the crossbar. And then Ivan himself saved the team several times. In one of the episodes, Andrei Chibasov decided to make up for the problems in knowledge and decided to personally get acquainted with the defender of the rivals Santeri Alitalo. This heated up the nerve in the game. A few seconds later there was a major brawl, after which two players from each side went to the penalty boxes. And at the end of the period Slepyshev succumbed to the provocation of Yannick Weber and butted him. In response to the push after the whistle, despite all the protests of the Swiss national team coaches, he managed to avoid the worst option, sending off until the end of the match. But our team remained in the minority for as much as 4 minutes. Fortunately, Fedotov was again on top, who later earned himself a removal, allowing him to play the last of the 4 minutes of Slepyshev's penalty in equal compositions. The game kept the tension literally until the last second. Both the Russians had chances for a goal, which is worth only one throw of Nikishin at the post. And the Swiss. It is worth giving credit to our rivals. Patrick Fischer's wards looked no worse than Russian hockey players and could well catch on for points. The lethal moment was not realized by Fabrice Herzog. Fedotov had already been won back. But the puck hit the post after the Swiss striker's shot from a meter away. Our team was very lucky. After that, the Crusaders had no more chances. The Russian national team has blown away from the Swiss in the next match with the Danes on February 11. A better game is needed.